Mr Brown hopes to host a summit of allies in London in January to discuss the strategy and a timetable for eventual withdrawal. Now, with more and more soldiers being sent to Afghanistan, it's fast becoming a time of celebration and local communities when their boys return home. Today, Southampton held a parade for the troops of the 17th Port and Maritime Regiment. Our reporter Joe Burrows went along to take in the festivities and talk to some of those attending the event.
Southampton celebrated the return of soldiers from 17 Port and Maritime Regiment today. The regiment, which is trained just outside the city in Marchwood, marched through the city to the Civic Centre, where they were met by friends, family, well-wishers and royalty. And all of this after a military sail past at Mayflower Park. Princess Anne greeted the troops and presented medals in a ceremony which included the regiment receiving the key to the city. Military Transport Officer Jamie Cameron explains why the day was important to the troops.
The biggest thing is it's a huge morale boost for the guys, to know that everyone's behind them and that the job that they're doing actually means something.
But should these parades even happen? I spoke to a few people who attended the ceremony and asked if they thought our troops should be in Afghanistan.
The United Nations are in agreement that something should be done about Afghanistan. You can't have a country teeming with warlords and everyone armed to the teeth. What kind of a country is that?
I don't think our army should be over there. I don't think our boys should be over there at all. I think they should be at home where they belong.
I also talked to two veterans to see if they thought the war in Afghanistan was just.
Why are lads going out to Afghanistan to fight? What are they fighting for? There's nothing, I don't think there's much out there for us to worry about. Why are we going out there? Why are they sending troops out there? That's what I want to know.
Like Pally said about our troops going to Afghanistan and even Iraq and all those various places to sort out other people's troubles. But why should they be sorting out other people's troubles when there's enough troubles in this country for them to sort out?
Whilst troops on tour have support from back home, people still seem to be angry and confused about British soldiers' involvement in what many believe to be an American war. Joe Burrows, Solent Today.
Now, for those men struggling to hide beer bellies or love handles, an Australian-based company has launched their men's shapewear range for males who want to appear younger and fitter by holding it all in or even suggesting a six-pack.
I think men are looking after their bodies a lot more. I think it sort of started with a pink pound, but I think that we find now that the products isn't just about that type of market, is that the straight man is buying it as well.
But fashion experts remain uncertain about the men's shapewear market because the market's only small and seen as a novelty. Meanwhile, there's been a growth in the men's grooming products market. So British men can expect a Christmas present that will give you a slim line by New Year, even if you go a little overboard with the turkey. Farmers and other livestock owners could be forced to pay a fee for every animal they own. According to DEFRA, the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, they will reorganise the way in which they manage animal health in the UK by suggesting a cost-sharing initiative. The plans include horses, which could see owners being faced with a £10.50 levy that could affect the whole of the equine industry. Tiffany Evans reports.
Horse owners in the New Forest, especially commoners who graze their ponies in the woodland, are upset about the new proposal. They claim the proposed levy will amount to a new stealth tax on their animals, even though most are kept for pleasure and not for profit.
The average pony, the average foal at Bewley Road sales makes about £50 a head, so you can see easily that £10.50 is a very large proportion of that. And you add to it the other bureaucratic measures of horse passports and microchipping for identification, and you can see that there would be no money left at the end of the day to support commoning. And it's vital for the forest that these ponies and cattle continue to be turned out on the forest, because it's their grazing and browsing action that keeps the vegetation under control.
The government says the levy would raise around £7 million a year and would help fund the £56 million Animal Health Agency, an executive DEFRA department. But opponents of the plan say the levy system is too complicated and that they are already spending £75,000 a year on equine disease prevention and management.
We have no idea how much money would be required per head. Because we don't know what we're facing. We don't know how the money would be spent. We don't know if, supposing a levy was put on every horse in the UK and horse and pony, and millions were raised, how would we know this money would go specifically to controlling or researching exotic diseases?
DEFRA insists no decisions have been made yet, but point out that the government spend £400 million a year on animal health and welfare, which significantly increases when there's an outbreak, like foot and mouth. They say the plans will help to reduce the risks and costs of animal disease and improve the confidence in animal health policies. Horse owners in the New Forest have already arranged campaigns and petitions in an effort to get the government to rethink plans. But DEFRA insists that no new plans will be introduced for 3 years, and with the election looming, we will have to wait and see if they will be implemented. Tiffany Evans for Solent News.
Now, with a roundup of today's top sports stories, we're joined in the studio by Joe Burrows.
Portsmouth today announced Avram Grant as their new manager after sacking Paul Hart. The former Chelsea manager has been out of the management game for a while now, holding the position of Portsmouth's director of football for the past year. His move back into management could be a rough one, taking control of Portsmouth at a time when they sit at the foot of the Premier League table. Grant's task is quite different to the job he was asked to do at Chelsea. Without players of Lampard's quality at his disposal and a non-existent transfer budget for the January window, Grant needs to turn a losing squad into a winning one, and quickly. Saints have progressed to the next round of the FA Cup after beating Northampton 3-2 away from home. The result makes it a League and FA Cup double against Northampton. Saints managed to take a 3-goal lead with goals from Wyjo, Lallana and Hammond. Hammond also scored an own goal just after the start of the second half. Northampton pulled another one back just before the final whistle, scoring a penalty in added time. Bournemouth were also in action in the FA Cup yesterday, playing host to Notts County at Dean Court. Bournemouth were unable to hold on after taking a 1-0 lead in the first half. With heavy rain throughout the first 45 minutes, the pitch became waterlogged. Notts County adapted to the conditions first, scoring 2 early second-half goals. The visitors managed to defend well as Bournemouth struggled to create chances, Notts County running out 2-1 winners. Now a look ahead at the weather prospects. Here's Tiffany Evans.
Tonight will be partially cloudy with light showers during the late evening and into the night. Tuesday will see those showers turning into a heavy downpour for most of the morning. During the afternoon, the rain will clear, however not for long. By the evening, we will see heavy rain continuing into the night. Wednesday shows a clearer picture as the rain moves westward, but by the afternoon, a heavy rainfall will begin, staying throughout the night. We hope the rain does not disrupt your week too much. Join us at 10 for another weather update.
Other weather updates plus a full roundup of all of today's stories in the late news. That's at 10:30. But for now, from all of the team, have a very good evening.